Welcome back to Hey J Boops. Banish the sun, for it is no longer our friend. Welcome everyone on another Dark Souls journal, the 8th one, I believe, as I get closer and closer to finishing the pledge. All of the lords have been slain. I don't know what's beyond the door where you put all of the Lord Souls into the Lord Soul bowl for like Lord Soup or whatever. But I am what I think is one fight away from the credits. But we are going to be going on a little detour for DLC because this new weapon that I got, which I already forgot the name, but it's the Dark Knight Glaive or Halbert, one of the two. It has given me enough comfort to be like, you know what? We can delay going to the credits maybe for a week to go see what's going on with the DLC over here. But first, before I talk about my little DLC adventure, let's talk about the other two lords, specifically the Four Kings and the Demon Ruins and what bullshittery was in there. Oh my God. I have never seen such bad boss design. Oh my God, the bed of chaos hurt. Anyways, so I had finished in the last stream, I had finished the first two lords, which were Nito and the other one, the dragon. So now I was like, okay, do I go into the Demon Ruins and explore a whole new area, or do I go and wrap up the Four Kings, which was the first lord I went through before I got the super awesome weapon and then died to because I didn't understand what was happening. So I'm like, you know what? Let's go see what's going on over here. So I dash in there. Like I'm like, I don't want to deal with stuff. I just want to kill things. I just want to get this over with so we can move on to better games. So I'm dashing. I fall into the Four Kings realm with my ring of Artorias. And I'm like, well, I don't need this ring anymore. And I remove it to put back my Havel ring on to only instantly die. Apparently you have to keep the ring the whole time that you are in that dark hole. The more you know. So that was like, oh, first death of the stream, whatever. All right, let's do it again. Let's go back. And I went back. I kept my ring on. I'm just like, take this, Four Kings, swoosh, take this. And I think it was about 3 hits with the glaive. And I was like, oh, honestly, I have to admit, I don't really even know what this fight was. And I know a lot of you fans might be like, you didn't really experience the Four Kings. And to be fair, I don't think I've experienced a lot of things about Dark Souls the way I should. But at this point, I'm with Dark Souls 1 anyways, I just want to get it over with. This is not a game I will cherish the way that I cherish Monster Hunter. I want to be very upfront with all of you all. This is not a game that I have fallen in love with. It's a game that I went into to understand the community, understand the game, and to some extent, I understand it a lot better. You guys like hard games. I get it. And there's more to it than that. But anyways, I'm ready to put Dark Souls 1 behind me, and I'm probably going to go see Dark Souls 3. This game has not turned me off so much from the series that I'm not going to give Dark Souls 3 a chance. I heard Dark Souls 2 was worse, so I'm not going there. And I heard Dark Souls 3 was better, so I'm going to go see exactly what that means. Anyways, so Four Kings, I smashed his face with my glaive a few times and he died. It was the most anticlimactic fight ever. I think I finished him in like a minute. So with that, we had our third Lord Soul done, and off we go to the Demon Ruins to go back and fight some Capra demons. And I'm like, how much easier is everything going to be with this super weapon? And so like I see the 6 Minotaurs. I'm like, let's go see what's going on over here. So I lure one of them at a time because I'm not so foolish to think I can take on 6 Minotaurs with my super weapon. So I lure one at a time, and they're 2 boops and they die. So I boop all of them, they all die. And then I go explore and I see a bunch of shinies in the lava. And I'm like, do I have what I need to cross the lava and to pick it up? And I quickly figured out, I'm like, am I immune to lava? Steps in it, almost dies. Nope. Okay, can I equip fire resist and step into the lava? I put on as much fire resist I could. Boop, boop. Nope. I was burning up and dying very fast. So I'm like, okay, we're going to come back to this because clearly I don't know what I'm doing to get to it. And so we headed over to the Capra demon lair, and I was like, oh man, do I really want to fight 6 to 7 Capra demons? So I killed the first one, and then I'm back to where I was in the Demon Ruins like many weeks ago. And I was like, oh, there they are. I don't want to do this. But then as I was staring, my gaze shifted and I saw a platform beneath it. I was like, wait a minute. I can just fall to this platform and bypass all the Capra demons. I'm like, oh, this is the Dark Souls design. There's always a way to bypass things sometimes. So I guess there isn't always. But in this case, there was. So I jumped down to only be greeted by a massive centipede, was just like, ugh. And I have to say, like, you know, people have like arachnophobia and they don't like spiders. I don't like centipedes. Like if you put a centipede here and a spider here, I would probably like go more towards the spider, depending on the size of the spider. My like personal arachnophobia kind of increases as the spider increases. Like you get a house spider, it can walk on me. I'm good with that. You get like a bigger black spider that's like this big. It can't touch me, but I'm going to be like, that's gross. Let's kill it. But you put a freaking tarantula in front of me. Oh, I'm getting out of that room. So yeah. And then you put me on Australia and I'll probably just not even touch the ground because Australia is full of big spiders. Anyway, centipedes are gross. And little did I know at the time that that little centipede out of the wall would be a precursor to things to come. But I got my bonfire, kept going, and came across a surprise boss. I thought we were going to the Bed of Chaos boss right away. So I come across the demon Fire Sage, which I think is a reskin of the first tutorial boss, but now he's got fire and he's got boom booms. So like, you know, he attacks. I can't even see. All I can see are like everything below his belt because the camera can't pan up to let me appreciate what this boss is. So all I see are legs and his lower basin. And then occasionally his hammer as he's trying to hit me. This one, I would have died by attrition in the sense that I was not good at dodging him. I was good at dodging his swing, but then he has like a ripple effect wherever he hits and there's like a bomb that goes off. I didn't get good at dodging that, but I got good at hitting him enough times that he died before I died. So that was done. And then we kept going. And this is where the game got really gross because I came across freaking Centipede Demon, which is like half man, half monster. Wait, we're getting more than 1/3 man, 1/3 monster, 1/3 centipede. And this thing has like, I don't know, like a centipede for a head, a centipede for an arm. And you walk in, you're surrounded by lava. So I'm like, what the heck do I do? And then he's just like centipede hands. And I'm like, okay, dodge. And then he's like centipede hand. And I'm like on this like little island. And I try to boop the centipede hand. And I can't boop it. Like I'm hitting it and it's not hurting his health. So I'm like, oh no, how do I hit this thing? And so I eventually like see that there's like a little island like through the lava and I just kind of like make my way around, jumping through the lava, taking a bit of damage. And I eventually find like a platform that has a lot more space to move around. And I realize if I go to the back, it lures the monster onto the platform where I eventually learn I can do damage by hitting him on the body. So I just have to get through his big centipede hand. And after I think 2 or 3 tries, I got him. Wasn't a great fight. Didn't really enjoy it. But I killed it, and I got one of the best items in the game, which is, was it a ring? Yes, it's a ring that lets you walk on lava with very minimal damage, which I'm like, oh, that's how you get the shinies earlier. So with that, we continued exploring the ruins, which was a very bright area. I eventually made it to the chamber just before the Bed of Chaos, but then people are like, no, go down here. There's something cool over there. And of course, this is the whole segment where we find out what happens to Solaire. Now, I've been teased that I was told I would get to a point in the game where I make a decision, and that decision may or may not kill Solaire. And I was expecting like a consequence of my actions, but I came across a possessed Solaire. No. And you know, he's got like a sun bug sucking on his head, and he's like, "Praise the sun, I got the bug." And it's like, well, I gotta kill you now because you're possessed. And I kill him, and I'm like, is this the decision that has the consequence that I put Solaire out of his misery? Because that's not a hard decision. If my buddy is possessed, I'm gonna kill him. Like, I'm not gonna let him live as someone who's not himself. And so our boy Solaire has died. Now, a lot of people grieved, but I didn't really build an emotional connection to Solaire, and I don't understand what makes Solaire stand out more than the other NPCs in this game. Is it because he's the most jovial of them all? Like, the bar's pretty low, but I don't understand the love for Solaire. And if this is how his story ends, he's even more inconsequential than I realized. Now, I think some people were saying, oh, he did everything you did by himself and without like the Dark Knight, and that's what makes him cool. But I'm like, he still died in the end, so he's not that great. Anyways, enough about Solaire. I'm disappointed with what they did. I had higher hopes for what Solaire's story and involvement in the game would be, and I thought he would really play a more important role to be so loved and cherished by the community. Like, he did help me with those 2 bosses. that I really would rather not remember their name. All I remember is Overcrotch. But yeah, that's about the only notable thing he did for me, which was pretty notable. So thank you, Solaire. May you rest in peace. Then we get to Bed of Chaos. Bed of Chaos. Oh my God. I walk in there, well, I slide in there, and it's a cool looking room. I'm like, okay, but I got my super weapon. Nothing can get between me and my super weapon. And then I see this big like tree thing, and there's fire, like a big glowy thing behind. I'm like, oh, we've been through this with the dragon. That's probably your weak spot. So I run over there. I boop the shiny thing. He goes on fire. I think that shows you like reducing his life, or maybe not. But I'm like, okay, this clearly did something. And then I try to run out, and then I get swept by branches and thrown into pits. So fast forward for the next hour of Many falling into holes and reading, I think like 500 tree puns from the chat. I have to give it to the chat. I have been streaming for over a year. I've never seen the chat be so on point with quality puns. You all achieved dad status that night. If you were watching the stream live, my God, there were so many good puns and so few repetitions. I'm like, how do you keep these puns coming? I kept dying and dying, and they're just like pun, pun, pun. Like they had so many tree puns. It was crazy. I can't even make tree puns that. I think I made one. And what was the one? I think I showed up and I was like, oh, would you look at that? And then they all like cringed me out of the room. So, I still think it's funny. Would you? Because it's all wood. Anyways, so I kept dying, and turns out you don't actually hit the boss. You just have to find a way to platform your way to the shiny thing. But then the floor falls out, and you don't know where it's gonna fall out until you do it. So you have to learn where the floor is gonna fall out. Luckily, the game saves, so if you die and it comes back, the floor has already fallen out. And then he's got like branches that are sweeping everywhere. So like there's really nowhere that's safe. And after a while, I just threw out my armor. I'm like, I don't care. My armor's not protecting me. I'm falling into holes everywhere. I need to be nimble. I need to run, bring on Naked Wrinkly Man. And like, it was just trial and error until I finally found the path and the timing. And then the final one is you have to like just drop in front. And I was trying and just getting swept and killed and tossed. And people are like, just gun it. And this is how one of the viewers achieved VIP status. They said, just gun it. And I said, are you serious? Like, I don't think the timing works. I'm like, just gun it, fall in the hole, it'll work. So I entered the room. I just ran forward, fell, found the thing, hit it. Turns out this whole thing was a big bug, like a big bug. It was a tiny bug. I squished it, and we got our fourth lord dead. So worst boss design ever. I've never I would rather play Mother Brain and Metroid. I would rather go back to Overcrotch and fight him for 5 hours than deal with Bed of Chaos. Although, yeah, I hated that. So afterwards, people I think were getting antsy that like we were getting towards the end of the Dark Souls like pledge because the credits are just around the corner. Like, go do the DLCs. I'm like, all right, let's go see what's this about. So they guide me, like chat was guiding me, and thank God they guided me because I have never seen such a cryptic DLC unlocking journey just to get access to extra content. Like, I don't know what it was like when this dropped. Did they drop the content and they're like, this is how you access the DLC? Or were players forced to buy the DLC and then have to figure it out themselves? It was like, what did we unlock by giving From Software our money? Because this thing was cryptic. So it turns out you have to go to the garden, you have to find a Hydra, and I approached the Hydra from the wrong area, and I was like on a little island. I was like, how the heck am I gonna fight this thing? And I died. I fell in the water. I kept falling in the pit. So I kept trying to get too close to the Hydra and I would fall. So I eventually learned you have to like be a safe distance, wait for them to reach out to you, and then you slice the heads off. Very disappointed they didn't I was really expecting these heads to split up and just like become some kind of Dark Souls bullshittery, but it was just slice all the heads and you win. So you kill the Hydra, then you have to respawn the area, then you have to run hugging a wall into this area that you would never want to or have a reason to go. You find oh my God, no. So you kill the Hydra, you reload the area. Oh my God, I don't remember. Yeah, you reload the area, then you hug the wall, you go and there's like a golden golem, you kill that, you unlock a ghost girl, and the ghost girl says nice things, and then you have to hustle to a library that has nothing to do with the ghost girl, and there's a random blue golem there that we saw before, but now if you kill him, he drops a pendant, and then you'd bring the pendant back to the ghost girl, and then she's more happy, and then there's a portal, and then there's a big spooky thing that pulls you into the portal, and it turns out we have traveled through time. We have gone back to the past, because now everything is a little bit happier. We're in a happier garden. The world doesn't look so miserable. I think we've entered the world of happy souls, or maybe more like mediocre souls, because it's definitely not happy, but it's definitely not dark. So we're in the world of mediocre souls. And here we eventually encounter a sanctuary guardian, which felt very Monster Hunter-ish, but I killed it. One go, let's go. Then we spoke to a mushroom lady, and as I recount the story, I'm like, this is such a weird thing. The mushroom lady, what did she say? I don't even know what she said, but she said things too. And then we went to the garden, and then we found out that the things we were fighting in the Dark Souls world were like tree farmers and guardians. And that's nice, but we still got to kill them. So we're killing them, and we keep exploring. And I eventually made it to Knight Artorias, which is my first DLC boss, if we don't count the Sanctuary Guardian. Okay, second DLC boss. And I have to say, I died. I only tried once. I died, but I'm liking where this fight's going, because it felt like what a proper boss fight should be like. I had to learn. I'm observing how he's moving. I'm getting punished when I make a mistake, like a fair one. And then like it's a dance. I can see that it's a dance already. So I'm like, all right, I'm looking forward to next week to finish off Knight Artorias, to learn the dance, pull it off, see what other bullshitteries in this DLC, and then we're going to the final boss and seeing the credits, and then I'm going to make a journal on this channel and say pledge complete one more time. That's my plan for next week. So yeah, we're in a good place for Dark Souls. I think the worst is behind us, and I'm looking forward to what comes next. So I'll see you in the next journal, and until next time, keep it classy.